come in, sir?
Please come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Bhavishya.
Yes, sir.
So, Bhavishya, tell us very briefly about yourself, your
Yes.
academic qualification,
Yes, sir.
work experience,
Yes, sir. So,
little about hobbies.
yes, sir. So my name is Bhavishya. I'm from Ajmer, Rajasthan. I did my undergrad in IIT Kanpur in computer science and engineering. During my second year, I served as a research fellow at NUS. Then during my third year, I did a internship at Quad in algorithmic trading. My hobbies include, first would be USA and China watching. Second is forecasting and prediction. And third is political philosophy with special focus on post-liberalism. Yes.
So, Bhavishya, you are from Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
So, tell us 2 or 3 strong points about the state of Rajasthan and the weaknesses as of today.
Yes, sir. So strength would be its enormous newly found energy potential in terms of solar and even fossil fuels. Second would be its mineral riches. Third would be its tourism and cultural heritage. Among the weaknesses, first would be lack of water. In fact, inequitable distribution of water resources. And second would be low population density, especially in Western Rajasthan, which has led to lack of development and lack of urbanization. Third would be outward migration of human capital. So we see that Rajasthanis migrate not just within India but also outside India.
So, Bhavishya, you are either from Ajmer or Jaipur, wherever you are staying. Let me suppose if you were the district collector
Yes, sir.
of any of these districts, Ajmer or let's say Ajmer,
Yes, sir.
and you found that there is a lot of digital illiteracy
Yes, sir.
and digital divide.
Yes, sir.
You are a computer engineer.
Yes, sir.
Now, how would as district collector take care of these 2 aspects?
So, as a district collector, so to bridge digital literacy, we have digital centers in almost every village or every town. So we can create apps and educational programs that give a basic capsule primer on basic digital literacy, basic aspects of digital literacy. For example, how to make a call, how to register your bank account, and etc. And then we can incentivize digital literacy. So, for example, like the private companies like Paytm or other ones do, they incentivize their users to participate in their apps, etc. To bridge digital divide, we need to increase the basic digital infrastructure. So for example, already there are schemes like BharatNet and PM Vani. Those need to be implemented to the core, and then further to bridge digital divide, we need cheaper phones that could be made available in rural areas. The digital infrastructure in basic Anganwadis or government schools should be up to the levels that would bridge digital divide.
Bhavishya, you are so thorough in technology and your own subject, and
Yes,
you are from IIT,
Yes, sir.
Premier Institute.
Yes.
So why are you not trying to pursue a career, as a technocrat in the world of technology?
Yes, sir.
You could go much higher or maybe beyond expectation. And why are you wanting to come to the civil services?
So actually, I did during my internship at Quad as a corporate in the corporate sector. I realized that the corporate sector does not provide the same sense of meaning and purpose that would come if I get to serve in Indian Foreign Service. That would be my first choice. And further, I have a strong interest in international relations and political philosophy, and that I thought is a very good match for IFS. So that's why I decided that I should pursue civil services.
So, Bhavishya, you know that there is a procedure for allocating the services.
Yes, sir.
So you have just jumped on the decision to go for civil services, hoping that you will get IFS and will be able to use your interest of international relations.
So even if I not able to get my first preference, then also even with other services, now India's international profile is growing, so every service would have to incorporate, even let's say in customs or trade services, there's a strong aspect of economic diplomacy.
Is there any service that you have marked?
Yes, sir.
If you get that, you will not join and pursue your
Uh,
basic expertise.
so I will try to get the foreign service.
You have given your preferences.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to go into the details of it.
Okay, sir.
But is it that any service that you get under the your choices,
Yes, sir.
that you will continue with the civil services, or you will quit midway, that I could not get IFS and customs excise and I've been given this particular service, I'm not interested, I will leave after 5 years?
So since this is only my second attempt, if I don't get my preferred service preference, I might.
You keep trying.
Yes.
My last question,
Yes, sir.
the quad.
Yes.
You worked in quad I. I'm asking about quad.
Yes, sir. I've heard.
So quad, why is China and Russia, so fearful and apprehensive of quad?
Yes, sir. So
When it doesn't have an agenda like what NATO has,
yes, sir.
or what Warsaw Pact had.
Yes, sir. So from the Chinese viewpoint, Quad appears to them as the attempt by West and its allies to contain China as a kind in the new Cold War, and Russia. Since Russia is moving closer to China, it also sees any attempts to redefine the geography of Indo-Pacific and forming exclusive blocks as a threat to its interest. That's why Russia and China view Quad negatively. Yes, sir. Yes.
You have indicated amongst the extracurricular activities, forecasting or prediction markets.
Yes, sir.
How accurate are the findings and observations results in that field?
So this field is not clearly defined. So what I do is I participate in an online platform called Metaclis, where many other experts who also pursue this hobby try to assign probabilities to global events like the presidential races in various countries, or the probability of a Russia-Ukraine war before February, or the signing or successful signing of the Iran nuclear deal. Such events.
Are there exact and well-defined parameters along
Yes,
which
sir.
assessments have to be made?
Yes, sir. So the bet that starts, it defines the criteria of the event, and then people try to assign what the probabilities.
Can you bring out what were the major pronouncements
Yes.
in the triple talaq case decision of the Supreme Court?
Yes, sir. So Supreme Court said that use the doctrine of essentiality to argue that the practice of triple talaq is not essential practice under Sharia or Islamic law. That's why it has to be discontinued, and to preserve the individual rights under Article 19, Article 21. And it overrides the right to religious freedom under Article 25.
What do you understand by an office of profit?
Yes, sir. So, office of profit, as defined in our constitution, Article 102, if I remember correctly, says that a person cannot make a significant compensation from while part of the political executive. So there should not be any conflict of interest. For example, if a elected member of parliament also joins as a parliament secretary, then there's a conflict of interest.
And what is golden quadrilateral?
So in case of India, it's the network of highways connecting India from. So if I remember correctly, from So it from Amritsar to Bombay to in south, then to Calcutta and back.
What's the main role of Election Commission of India?
So the main role would be to ensure free and fair elections in India.
They're concerned with election to what all bodies?
Yes, sir. So the election commission is mainly concerned with the general election at the national level and the state elections. But they also supervise the state election commissions in local panchayat and urban local body elections.
But when the Constitution of India has provided for three tiers level of democracy.
Yes, sir.
So the Election Commission is not saddled with responsibility towards all elections?
So if I understand it, the way I understand it, election commission is responsible for state elections and national elections, while the state election commission is responsible for the local elections.
And what about the election for the office of president and vice president?
Yes, sir. For the office of president, election commission is also responsible for office of president and vice president.
What about governors?
So governors are appointed by the president on aid and advice of the
Okay,
prime
thank you.
minister.
You are from Rajasthan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why Ajmer is different from other parts of Rajasthan? Ajmer is not a part of Mewar,
Yes,
it's not a part of Marwar,
yes, sir.
neither it is a part of Shekhawati.
Yes.
So why this?
So Ajmer historically was not a princely state. Was part of the direct commissionerate system under the British. That makes Ajmer different, and also geographically it is confined within the Aravalli ranges. So that makes a geographical distinction.
Now, one of your hobbies is that you pursue this political philosophy.
Yes, sir.
So who are your favorite political philosophers from India?
So from India, so at contemporary or in
Contemporary.
yeah, so I personally like Sri Aurobindo's philosophy to be particularly relevant right now because there's a wave of cultural nationalism. So my special focus is on post-liberalism. So post-liberalism studies alternatives to liberalism, and there's an emerging cultural nationalism that was first, at least in India, propagated by Sri Aurobindo.
How Aurobindo's philosophy was different from that of Swami Vivekananda?
Yes, sir. So actually, they were Sri Aurobindo was inspired by Swami Vivekananda, and he used his ideas. But because Sri Aurobindo was educated in German and European continental philosophy, so he used the ideas of Hegel and Herder to give a more theoretical and sound basis to the idea of cultural nationalism and the idea of spirit and freedom.
Okay, good. Now, where do we stand in our achievement of sustainable development goals,
Yes.
particularly with respect to poverty? What is the target?
Yes, sir.
First, tell me the target. What is the target?
So the SDG Sustainable Development Goal 1 says zero poverty by 2030.
So,
Yes, sir.
do you think we will achieve that? What is the latest status?
So, as per 2011 census, the poverty rate was about 22% BPL, and it looks unlikely that by 2030 we would achieve zero poverty. But definitely, sustainable development goal acts as a north star towards which we need to focus our efforts. But it's unlikely that we would achieve.
Now, in Rajasthan, basically, my question is with regard to the farmer distress.
Yes.
As compared to other states,
Yes,
as far as I know, farmer distress is less. What is the reason? Despite the fact that the soil is not
Yes, I
there is a
read.
problem of water,
Yes, sir.
but despite that, the farmer distress is comparatively less as compared to even states like Maharashtra, even Punjab, Haryana.
Yes, sir.
What could be the reason?
So there are multiple reasons. So first would be after the arrival of the Indira Gandhi Canal, parts of northern Rajasthan and even now the parts of western Rajasthan are green. So the water issue is slightly resolved after the Indira Gandhi Canal. And the second reason would be that the the farmers in Rajasthan, apart from wheat in northern areas, practice growing millets, that's like bajra, jawar, ragi, and they require less water, and they are quite adjusted to the climatic conditions of Rajasthan. So that does not create stress. Further, the issue that causes stress in say Maharashtra or Bihar or UP, the issue of indebtedness from informal lenders, that is not so profound in Rajasthan.
What about animal husbandry?
Yes, sir. Sorry. So Rajasthan is famous for its tribal communities, rabbaris,
So
etc.
basically, that adds to farmers'
Yes, sir.
incomes.
Yes.
They can overcome.
Yes, sir. And they make agriculture more robust. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
You have given the IAS as your first choice.
Yes, sir.
Any particular reason for it?
Yes, sir. So I have a strong interest in international relations, political philosophy, and also because in 21st century technology would be at the center of global geopolitics, I think I can contribute to the service with my STEM background.
And this was your optional paper also.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So I will ask you questions on that.
Yes, sir.
Particularly regarding the war in Ukraine.
Yes, sir.
What was the reason that Russia invaded Ukraine? What was the reason?
So, in short, tactical terms, Russia said that Ukrainian forces were committing genocide against ethnic Russians in Donbass and even in 2014 Crimea. Further, the Russians alleged that there were Nazi battalions that were doing atrocities against ethnic Russians. But in long strategic terms, Russia is concerned about its security because due to NATO enlargement and Ukrainian inclusion in the European Union. And further, there's another hidden goal that due to rising imperialist nationalist tendencies inside Russia, there's this demand to unify the Russian lands to create greater Russia by unifying Belarus and Ukraine, which is known as Little Russia. So,
You've given many reasons.
Yes,
and
sir.
all of them are valid in their own place.
yes, sir.
But if you were asked to pinpoint most important reason for that,
Yes, sir.
what would be?
The most important reason, as per my opinion, would be that President Putin thought that he had a strategic space due to US withdrawal, and this was the right time to ensure Russian security, because if he takes another 5 to 10 years, then Ukraine would become stronger and more closer to EU. So he thought this was the right time to either neutralize Ukraine or either ensure capture Donbass and Crimea, etc.
Now, how is the war going for Russia?
So Russia is definitely failing to achieve its maximalist aims. That is, it is failing to go beyond the Dnipro River, and the siege of Kiev has not worked out. But I think Russia would restate its military aims, that it would be happy to capture Donbass, and it has already Crimea, so, and maybe some parts of the southern coast, and it would try to force the Ukrainian side to recognize those territories and try for achieving a neutral Ukraine. Yes, sir.
Where do you get your information about this war from? Which are your main sources of
So,
information?
besides the normal newspapers like the Hindu Express and Financial Times, I follow Twitter lists. I have created a Twitter list from by selecting expert accounts from Twitter, and I follow that list for updates.
Like, do you consult what is called the alternative media?
So, by
Have you
alternate,
heard the term alternative media?
so I've heard the term, but I'm not sure. So I would assume that it means social media or the non-mainstream media sources. Yes, sir. So I do use Twitter for aggregating information. Yes, sir.
Now, President Biden visited the region
Yes, sir.
in Poland.
Yes, sir.
Before that, Belgium. Few days ago.
Yes, sir.
Why did he have to visit Belgium? And what did he say in Poland?
So Brussels in Belgium is the center of European Union. So it's the bureaucratic and diplomatic center of European Union. And then Poland is the bordering nation to Ukraine, and Poland has emerged as a major supplier of aid, refugee camps, and etc. to Ukraine. So, and as a show of support, President Biden visited Poland. Yes.
Did he say something significant in Poland?
Yes, sir. So, now Secretary Blinken has denied, but he called for regime change in Russia. Yes. Yes, sir.
Can you briefly do SWOT analysis of Indian economy?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. So, the strength of Indian economy would be our huge demographic potential, demographic dividend, basically. Then the rise of new startups. So India has become the third largest. Our weaknesses would be so there's dependence on energy. So over 80% of oil, which makes us which leads to macroeconomic instability in Indian economy. Further weaknesses would be the underdeveloped manufacturing sector, which leads to unemployment. The opportunities would be seizing. So there's capital outflow from China. So we need to seize that. So that would be an opportunity. Further opportunity would be because the global order is in flux. So if we can establish new agreements, so FTAs with UK, Australia, USA, and other free trading regimes with even Gulf states, Russia, China, Russia, Gulf states, and other countries, we can exploit this flux to our benefit. And threats would be the threats of political instability. If domestic cohesion is not maintained, that would be bad for our investment, bad for economy. Another threat would be threats emerging from our neighborhood. If organized crime or terrorism or threat of nuclear war, two-front war, even stability in Pakistan or in Myanmar or in Sri Lanka could breed into India. So that would be useful.
So Bhavishya, you are a computer engineer.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to know your opinion.
Yes, sir.
Why India is not able to do well in IT sector?
Yes, sir.
As compared to many major countries of the world. We
Yes,
are
sir.
dependent on Google, WhatsApp, Facebook. So what's the core issue? Is it brain drain or something else?
So brain drain is definitely one of the main reasons. But so because India is a middle income country, to produce high-end software products, it's a capital intensive process, and only the major countries of West and now China or some of the Eastern countries are able to provide that kind of human capital. But that is slowly changing. So for example, in last decade, many major software giants like Google, Microsoft produce many of their most significant products like Google Maps, Google Pay from India only. So I think that is slowly changing.
I pass on to Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Bhavishya, India is passing through Bharat Bandh. You heard
Yes, sir.
yesterday and today.
Yes, sir.
Now you are a DM of Ajmer,
Okay, sir.
and you would have been here. I mean, during the Bharat Bandh takes place in your presence. Now, what steps would you take? What exactly Bharat Bandh would mean, and how would the administration deal with it?
So the workers and farmers unions, etc., are worried about the inflation, and they have the perception that government is pursuing anti-farmer, anti-worker policies.
No, I'm not asking what it
Okay. Yes, sir.
is. Bharat Bandh is happening.
Okay.
You are the DM.
Yes.
What do you mean by Bharat Bandh?
So Bharat.
How would you ensure that normalcy remains, law and order
Yes.
remains,
Yes, sir.
peace remains? What are the rights of the people? Can they move,
Yes, sir.
or are they constrained under the Bharat Bandh that you should not move at all? Is it a government order? Is it?
Yes, sir.
What
Yes,
is
sir.
your responsibility on Bharat Bandh?
So my responsibility would be to ensure there's law and order, that is peaceful assembly is allowed under Article 19, but freedom of movement is also a fundamental right, as Supreme Court has said. So there should be freedom of movement, especially emergencies like medical emergencies should be allowed to move. And then it should be ensured that the unions and the protesters are ensure peaceful assembly should be ensured. Second would be talks with the leaders of the union should be started to ensure that uh, if a possible resolution could be found.
Actually, you are not hitting at the main point. You are not into negotiations with. Their agenda is different. Their banks and transport, whatever, that they are not being given salaries.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Main thing is what happens in a band.
So first, I will try to ensure that
Suppose
essential.
these people, these unlawful assembly or somebody goes
Yes, sir.
to a shop
Yes, sir.
and says you close the shop.
Yes, sir.
The person is not willing to close the shop.
Yes, sir.
What is his right?
So his right, he has a right to open a shop. So I would ensure that the police, all police information center and police patrol are effective to ensure that all fundamental rights are enforced. If there's a complaint, there should be immediate action, and it should be conveyed using maybe social media or local TV channels that though the protesters have their right to protest, but it should not encroach upon others' rights.
Bhavishya, we have covered a lot of ground,
Yes, sir.
but anything which we may not have covered from your point of view, we would let you. We'll ask one question from the area which is of your choice or something which has not been covered.
Okay. So maybe my first hobby, USA and China watching.
US and China watching. What do you watch?
So I follow not just foreign policy but technological, economic, and internal domestic developments in these
Tell
two.
me, if today US and China are at loggerheads,
Yes, sir.
and because of US China's being adversaries or not in good gesture,
Yes, sir.
India's foreign policy is being affected. Tomorrow, US and China, because of trade or whatever reason, they become good friends. How would India's policy change?
So that would be a great development for India, because India wishes that to have a strategic autonomy in its policy, and now it has to balance both India and China, because India does not want to join any particular camp. If somehow that happens, that would be a positive development for India.
And what if India and China develop very good relations, which has been tried also by
Yes.
China and Italy?
Yes, sir.
What will be the US's policy vis-a-vis India?
So since the foreign policy establishment in United States is very maniacal and zero sum in their mindset, it could be problematic for India. But India has always made clear that it is not part of any camp. It wants to exercise strategic autonomy.
And do you think that US's statement that India stand on Ukraine thing is unsatisfactory? Is it also because India and China are on the same page?
No, sir. Sir, I don't think it has much to do with China, but it is our stand reflects our own interests, so defense and energy interest with Russia, and our stand is actually consistent and normatively secure, because we have also mentioned that we are for sovereignty and territorial integrity and independence of Ukraine, but at the same time we are pursuing a peace and a diplomatic and political solution. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Bhavishya, how do you rate your performance?
So actually, I faltered at one of your last questions during
Was fine.
So I stammered a bit, and my voice was not.
Why was that?
Uh,
The first time you were appearing for
yes, sir. This is my first
for a
one.
UPSC interview?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And first mock,
No, sir. This is my third mock.
third.
Yes.
So I won't ask details, but compared to the three mocks,
Yes, sir.
how did you perform today in your own assessment?
So I think I improved on few of the things that. So for example, I tend to.
Today's was the best.
I guess, but yes.
So what did you find missing today?
So maybe I should maybe think and then answer and better organize my thoughts around some of the questions. Again, I'm not sure how my body language or mannerisms were.
वो हम बता देंगे. but
Okay.
You rightly pointed out.
Yes.
I'm very happy. भविष्य एक तो आपने अभी जवाब अपना दे दिया जो not exactly stammer, stammer.
Okay.
Simply don't stammer. But आपके उसमें होता.
Okay.
This must be, I think, because of the second point that you said, that you are not able to organize your thoughts.
Hmm.
Now, organizing of thoughts can happen in two ways.
Yes.
One is you make your knowledge very thorough.
Yes.
You know that the flow of knowledge, the flow of words and ideas, they are matching the
Yes, sir.
delivery.
Yes, sir.
So the delivery becomes obstructed because of जैसे वो पाइप में से कभी वो दबा दो तो यूं करके निकल के आता है वैसे निकल रहा था.
Yes, sir.
So which means that you have to go very deep into the gap matters.
Yes, sir.
Rajasthan, the first question you answered on the dot.
Yes.
The good points and the weak points. Thereafter, you slightly started getting astray in most of the questions, and as you rightly said, the thoughts were not organized.
Yes, sir.
तो इसके लिए बहुत पढ़ना पड़ेगा.
Yes.
और टैप की सारी चीजें अजमेर, जयपुर,
Yes, sir.
Rajasthan, then your of course the computer engineering.
Yes, sir.
All this you have to be very thorough from application.
Yes, sir.
And see in every DAF matter, see the government connection, public service connection,
Yes, sir.
people's connection,
Yes, sir.
in computer and electronics or whatever, in computer science engineering.
Yes, sir.
As it is theoretical has no importance.
Yes, sir.
The thing is, how would you, like I asked you about digital, there can be hundreds of questions
Yes, sir.
related to the people.
Yes.
How has computerization or technology
Yes, sir.
changed the education system?
Yes, sir.
And COVID has just happened.
Yes, sir.
Everyone is talking about digital transformation of most of the sector. Health sector has been digital transformed.
Yes, sir.
So all these entire range, and it's a very large area.
Yes,
You
sir.
have to be very thorough.
Yes, sir.
Now that's one. Coming specifically to certain points of knowledge
Yes, sir.
will make you communicate better.
Yes, sir.
Number three, the second point which I wanted to mention about thoughts organizing is that take some time.
Yes.
When a question is asked and you have to frame your thoughts, the questions are not never straight.
Yes, sir.
They will be आपके क्या views हैं? What are your views?
Yes, sir.
So you may have to give a thought because it's a sudden question.
Yes, sir.
But there are many subjects about which you can always make your own thoughts prior to coming to the interview. So your thought will become organized.
Yes. Yes,
So
sir.
you take a paper for each topic. What
Yes.
could be the possible, like
Yes,
you have FAQs.
Yes, sir.
Have answers ready in your mind.
Yes, sir.
क्वेश्चन का तरीका अलग हो सकता है लेकिन मैटर वही होगा.
Yes, sir.
अब यूक्रेन रशिया में हम कौन सा कोई नया चीज निकाल के ले आएंगे, वही चीजें घूम फिर के इंडिया की क्या पॉलिसी है, why is
Yes,
it
sir.
this?
Yes, sir.
Would prepare all these things.
Yes, sir.
Question may come in some other form.
Yes, sir.
Answer may be the same.
Yes, sir.
So then your thought will be open. The
Yes, sir.
third thing is, if your thoughts are still not something, a totally raw question आ गया out of, उस केस में just within yourself
Yes, sir.
pause for 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds.
Hmm.
Like I have asked you a question, all right. So tell me about the economy of the country today.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
So now this much of time you may get to organize.
okay, sir.
And for a ITN like you,
Yes, sir.
right person, it will not be difficult.
Yes, sir.
And don't think of कि मैं 4 ही आइडिया है, 5 आ जाते तो मजा आ जाता.
Yes.
अरे 4 बोलो.
Yes.
Don't waste time.
Okay.
And stop there.
Yes, sir.
And never say कि sir I am not thinking at all. I am not able to tell the fifth thing.
Yes, sir.
Why do you show your weakness? Just stop there.
Yes, sir.
If somebody has to ask what else, or what about GDP?
Yes, sir.
What about inflation? What
Yes.
about exports? What about imports?
Yes, sir.
If you know the thing, you answer. If you don't know, sir, I am sorry, I won't.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
structured answers are very important.
Yes, sir.
Now, coming to specific, I wish to point out, never say a wrong thing.
Okay, sir.
You mentioned about election commission.
Yes, sir.
It supports SEC in elections of local bodies. What kind of support ECI gives?
So I thought in terms of organizing. Okay.
They are both constitutional bodies, nobody can interfere with each other. In the past, there has been some attempt, to take the voter roll, electoral roll of ECI, but electoral roll of a local body can never be identical with the assembly.
Yes.
Because you have wards, you
Yes,
don't have wards here in
Yes.
cities.
Yes.
So there is no. That is a wrong fact, never say that.
Okay, sir.
Then you also mentioned about a question which honorable member asked you, and you said aid and advice given by the Prime Minister.
And it's cabinet. So it's Council of Ministers. Sorry.
What? Council?
Cabinet.
So be careful about these utterances because
Yes, sir.
any wrong thing.
Yes, sir.
And last but not the least, आपने IAS का क्या जवाब दिया था?
Sir.
IAS क्यों जाना चाहते हैं?
He wants to go to Indian for
IFS.
himself.
For instance,
Yes.
you
That is the first choice.
were not, you were caught on the wrong.
Okay.
Never mention that your intention is to go for. You are specially this thing made for a particular service.
Okay.
That's why I
Yes.
asked you. Otherwise, this question doesn't require any further supplementaries.
Yes, sir.
So just be very plain, sir. Though I have done my IT, but I have always been passionate about civil services
Yes, sir.
because it gives me lots of
Yes, sir.
possibilities, diversities of jobs,
Yes, sir.
greater satisfaction,
Yes, sir.
more challenges, this, whichever service.
Yes, sir.
So I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
Anything you would like to?
I'd
Yes, sir.
like to tell you. It is, I noted the fact that since you have given IFS as the first choice,
Yes, sir.
you also chose the particular optional subject.
Yes, sir.
You could have chosen something else. Also.
Yes, sir.
So I have noted that fact, and that is indeed impressive. Now, when I asked you which was the single most important reason, you said something about, this being the most opportune moment for Putin and so on and so forth. But actually the most important reason was because Putin was afraid that Ukraine will join NATO
Yes.
on any day.
Yes, sir.
From this, you really hit it right when you said Biden said regime change.
Yes, sir.
That is the objective of the United
American
States
policy.
and NATO. The regime change in Russia.
Yes, sir.
Ukraine is simply an instrument to try and do
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you should have said that it was NATO, because once Ukraine becomes a member of NATO,
Yes, sir.
then NATO ground forces and nuclear weapons
Will
can
be stationed. Yes.
be deployed there. Under Article 5 of NATO,
Yes, sir.
if Russia invades NATO, United States and everybody will come.
Yes.
So that is why Putin got
Yes, sir.
impatient and
Yes.
keep this clear in your mind
Yes, sir.
and study the subject more, because you will be asked.
Yes, sir.
Definitely,
Yes.
Ukraine will still be going
Yes, sir.
when you are interviewed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So Bhavishya, anything you would like to ask?
So I think. So for now, I think. Yes, sir.
So the panel has rated you with 62% marks,
Okay, sir.
but I'm not happy.
Okay, sir.
With an IIT candidate, the expectations of the panel is actually UPSC.
Yes,
It
sir.
don't matter to you.
Yes.
So be ready to feel
Yes, sir.
more difficult questions.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So 62% is not satisfactory from our end
Yes, sir.
with your background, with your.
Yes, sir.
So you are a 70% material.
Yes, sir.
You'll work hard,
Yes, sir.
and whatever we have
Yes, sir.
tried to guide you,
Yes, sir.
or maybe other mock interview we have guided you.
Yes, sir.
उसको लग जाओ।
Yes, sir.
मॉक इंटरव्यू से ज्यादा
Yes, sir.
उसको जो चीजें बताई उसको ठीक करने में लगता
Yes, sir.
है। और
Yes,
क्या मॉक इंटरव्यू वही चीज सेम मिस्टेक यू विल
Yes, sir.
without studying more,
Yes,
how
sir.
would you improve tomorrow again if you go for a mock interview?
Yes, sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All the best, Bhavishya, to you.
Yes.
All the
Thank,
All the
thank you. Thank you so much, sir.